This is Jane. When Jane was a little girl, she developed an itchy red rash on her arms and legs. Her mother took her to the doctor, who diagnosed her with eczema and prescribed her a topical steroid cream. As any good parent would do, her mother followed the doctor's orders and diligently applied the cream to her daughter's skin. At first, the cream kept her eczema under control, but soon it came back even stronger, and she needed even more of the cream to control it. As the years passed, not only did she need more, but stronger steroids, just to keep the eczema at bay. As Jane grew up, she constantly battled to keep her eczema under control. She had heard that topical steroids weren't so great for her, but she could never seem to find an alternative to them. She saw countless doctors, she tried every cream, lotion, diet, and miracle cure on the market. She tried acupuncture, allergy shots, Chinese medicine, herbal medicine. She even tried hypnosis, but nothing would stop her worsening and spreading eczema except those magical steroid creams from the doctor. Eventually, her eczema got so bad that she had to use very potent, full-body topical steroids and even dangerous oral steroids just to keep from having terrible eczema all over her body. Doctors told her that her eczema was incurable and that she would have to use topical steroids indefinitely. She didn't feel good about this, but after trying everything else imaginable, she didn't know what else to do. Then one day, in a fit of itchy inspiration, she typed the words topical steroid addiction into the internet, and she found something that would change her world forever. So what did she find? She found the website of a woman who had suffered for years in the same way she had, thinking that she had incurable eczema. This woman had found the cure. And knowing that she wasn't the only one out there suffering, she had dedicated herself to helping others find the cure too. What she had suffered from was called topical steroid addiction, which leads to red skin syndrome, also called steroid-induced eczema. This occurs when someone uses a topical steroid to treat an inflammation of the skin, usually eczema. The steroid helps at first, but eventually the body needs more of the drug just to keep the rash from returning. The first steroid, possibly just an over-the-counter hydrocortisone, is then followed by progressively stronger prescription steroids. The patient can become addicted at any point in this cycle. Without those progressively stronger steroids, the patient's skin becomes covered in a worsening rash, far worse than the original condition. In effect, the treatment has caused a new illness, steroid-induced eczema. So what's the cure to this vicious cycle? What's the magic bullet that you've been waiting for all these years, maybe decades, that you've seen countless doctors for and spent thousands of dollars on? All right, get ready. This is it. You might want to write this down. Stop steroids. Yep, that's it. Stop steroids. That's it? It can't possibly be that easy, you say. Well, yes and no. Yes, all you have to do is stop steroids. And no, it isn't easy. When you realize that your only choice is to stop, you begin the process of topical steroid withdrawal, a process that can last from several months to several years. As soon as the steroid leaves your system, which takes only a few days, your body begins to cry out for the drug, causing your skin to become severely red, intensely itchy, and swollen. Many experience burning, oozing, swelling, and otherwise damaged skin, not to mention a host of other symptoms. Sleep is almost non-existent, and depression is common. It is a brutally painful experience that greatly affects the quality of life of the sufferer and the caretaker. Some people cannot work or go to school, and many of the sufferers are young children, which is even more heartbreaking and detrimental to the entire family. So why not just stay on the drug? Well, eventually, you might need an even more potent steroid, which could have serious side effects of its own. Many people reach the point where they must take oral steroids just to control their eczema. Type the word steroid-induced into the internet, and you'll find a whole host of horrible illnesses and side effects caused by these highly potent drugs. And even with a low-dose topical steroid, a person's skin can become addicted in as little as 2 weeks. Yet patients are not warned of this, nor the horrific withdrawal period that follows. So why hasn't your doctor ever told you about the possibility of topical steroid addiction? Unfortunately, the medical community as a whole has failed to recognize the long-term damage of these drugs, despite many years of medical evidence. Some doctors are simply unaware of topical steroid addiction, and others have a hard time accepting that it exists. They claim only what the drug companies have published, such as that topical steroids can thin the skin or cause stretch marks if used too long. As we know, these aren't the only things that can happen. The steroid industry is a growing $2 billion per year industry in the US alone, and nearly 10 million topical steroid prescriptions are written each year. Over-the-counter steroids, such as hydrocortisone, are marketed to the public for winter itch without even a doctor's guidance. The steroid market is big business, which makes you wonder, who's got your best interest in mind? The International Topical Steroid Addiction Network, or ITSAN for short, is a non-profit organization dedicated to addressing topical steroid addiction and withdrawal. Unlike some eczema organizations, we're not sponsored by a drug company. We're simply a community of individuals who have suffered firsthand the effects of topical steroids. Our mission is to educate the public on the dangers of topical steroids and hopefully prevent this condition from happening in the first place. For those already suffering, we offer support and resources on their journey to health. Topical steroid withdrawal is an excruciatingly painful but preventable condition. We believe that eczema should be treated differently. Although topical steroids might have a place in medicine, in chronic conditions such as eczema, the risk of addiction must be considered in treatment. Doctors must take responsibility for what they give their patients. Drug companies must take responsibility for their products. Patients have the right to know the risks before they're given any drug. If you have symptoms of worsening eczema and have taken topical steroids, visit itsan.org to find out more. There is an answer. We want to help you find it.